This is a huge game right now of pie, right? Perspective will solve everyone's anxiety. You got your perspective. I just want to be happy. Don't you want to be happy? Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tea with Gary Vee on this beautiful Friday, March 27th. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. This is my tea party, and we are doing a ton of Q&A today. To recap, if you're just joining, we've started this, I think, on Tuesday. We didn't do Monday, did we, Dustin?
We did. That was the first one.
Oh, it did. Awesome. So actually, we've done this all week. And we're really enjoying it. Tons of great questions and answers, a lot of great engagement, not a lot of bells and whistles. This new Zoom background is the most bell or whistle that we brought to the table, but very in-depth, detailed answers to business questions. I'm going to try to get to more today. Dustin, do we have the first person kind of in the queue? Awesome. Chris, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you, Gary?
I'm well. Where are you from?
I'm from Minnesota.
Fantastic. What can I help you with?
So a little bit of first off, gratitude. Thank you for having me on. Much appreciated.
Happy to do it, Chris.
I'm a principal of a K-12 school in Minnesota here, and we now have a shelter in place. Our students haven't been in school for quite a while now. One of the things that I'm fielding, and I'm doing my best to support them, our seniors who won't be having a graduation, would be actually our first prom in school history, some of those things. And, I know kind of what your advice might be, and I know what I've been telling them. What more would you provide them? What would you say to them?
Chris, what I'm sure you're doing, and it's why you said, I know what your advice is, obviously you're going to go down the empathy and the compassion and the perspective path, right?
100%.
You go down those three. I would say the final piece of the equation, and maybe the value out of this call, is innovation.
Right.
One could argue that through live streaming and things of that nature, you could have a virtual prom. You
Right.
could have a virtual graduation. It would take a lot of planning by you and the superintendent, teachers, volunteers, parents, and students.
Right.
But besides the, hey, look, thank God we're alive, and hey, maybe we can consider doing something in the summer if some of you want to do it before you guys go to college. You could do something fun. And what I love about innovation, like my head goes to so many different ideas. I'm like, would it be cool to, after you do all of next year's classes graduation, as many seniors as want to come back to walk, whatever. One of the most hilarious things of all times would be a virtual prom. And, I think some people would get a laugh out of that, dressing up at home and being virtual with their date and things of that nature. You get a DJ to come in, but it's innovation, right? Like your school could reach out to 50 famous Instagram DJs.
Right.
All of them are looking to do stuff right now. One of them says yes. All of a sudden, everybody gets hyped because they have one of the most famous DJs in the world DJing their virtual prom.
Right.
So I think besides the things that probably you and I are connected on, based on me hearing you say, I know what you're going to kind of say, and even your vibe, I think innovation is the final piece of the equation. And that is a macro sentence for everybody. This is a huge game right now of pie, right? Perspective will solve everyone's anxiety. Everyone's.
Right.
As long as somebody in your family does not die from coronavirus, this is a blessing, no matter, even if you lose your business or your job, in the macro of your entire life. If you see that and you start innovating, the second part of pie, innovating. This is going to be an incredible month of innovation, where in 20 years, you'll hear over dinner somebody telling you that their happiness, whether in a personal relationship, whether in a business, whether in a career, happened during the 2 months of downtime during Corona.
Well, my perspective on this whole situation is that it's really disrupting education, and I believe it's in a positive way. Right now, our teachers have had 2 weeks to plan for students working on distance learning, and they're planning for micro. We're looking at macro. What's it going to look like down the road, and how can we leverage this situation and the knowledge that we gain from this to change education? I mean, Gary, I've seen your report card. I know it wasn't.
Sorry, principal.
Hey, I get it, man. I know it wasn't great, and I guess one of the other questions, as we look into more of the online platform and supporting the distance learning, I think about what can we do to support, reach out and support our kids with mental health and all of that stuff, and what else can we bring, but also taking it from an individual perspective, so like I think back, even looking at your report card, what did you need that you didn't get as a middle and high school kid? What would have turns out you ended up just fine,
what I needed, what to your point, what I needed, and there was a couple teachers along the way that did dig in humanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're a nice kid, Gary. This is obviously, that kind of stuff. What they didn't have the flexibility to do was curriculum me individually, right? And I have empathy for that. What I needed to be doing in, freshman year, let me tell you why there was no A's besides gym. The other A would have been the history of advertising, right? If I was in class being taught why New Coke failed,
right?
I mean, I would have clowned the valedictorian, right?
Sure, right.
And so that's, that.
Well, my school is small enough that we've added an additional class that we call Real World Ready, where they're talking about taxes. They're doing the
I love you.
Character development stuff. They're doing financial awareness. Dave Ramsey program. All of that stuff that's that we can leverage into other areas.
Chris, let's make a deal here. Next year's curriculum, send me an email right now, Chris, the principal in Minnesota. It's Gary at VaynerMedia. I'd love to come in and give a 45-minute or however long the class is lecture on real world next year on me as a little added bonus.
That'd be awesome, man.
It's done. Free inspirational and practical talks. Looking on Twitter right now, Caleb Whittle, excuse me, I'm retweeting you. For any newcomers to Tea with Gary V, if you take a screenshot of this and tweet it with a link to the Facebook Live and say, join us, I will retweet or follow you. Brandon Baker gets a retweet. The MZ family gets a retweet. Sharu gets a retweet. I'll be right with you, Erica. Just giving out some retweets to James T, to Robin. Let's see what else. Devin Alexander gets a retweet. Jace Dean gets a retweet. Steve Hopkins, I'm going to give a follow. Boom. Steve Hopkins gets a follow. Nick C. And Erica is with us. How are you, Erica?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well.
I want to say thank you so much for doing this. It's been a part of my morning routine, so it's just super awesome.
Has it been fun?
It has. And I want to thank Team Gary V for just putting it together. It's just watching you work so hard just to give back in a time where, people are lost. And I mean, I'm fortunate enough to work from home. So, I don't have to worry about that. But, it's just to watch something like this is amazing.
Thank you.
Okay. So my question is, I'm a creative person. So I'm an industrial designer. That's what I do for work. I do engineering drawings for displays to build them. But on the side, I feel like I'm a jack of all trades and I'm trying to figure out how to put everything together. I love doing graphics. That's my poster. I'll make.
Oh my God, that's fucking epic, by the way.
Thank you. It's Celia Cruz.
Damn it. I'm so pissed at myself. I was literally about to say something and then we got right into it. How much I liked it. That's so well done, Erica.
Thank you. I'm just super, super hard on myself when it comes to doing things, and I just don't think I'm good enough. So that really prohibits me from putting a lot of stuff that I do out there.
And do you think that comes from parenting or environment or DNA?
I don't know.
Tell you?
My parents are great. They're super supportive. My mom, my sisters, everybody's great on that end. I think I'm just super hard on myself.
Let's try to dig for 4 more. You don't deal well with feedback. If somebody said that poster is not technically sound, or I don't like it, does that hurt you or no?
It hurts, but then I look at, okay, well, can I do it better, or was that just their opinion? You know?
And I think if you could be, I think that's smart. Now, if you broke down 100% of the energy typically on can I do it better, was that good feedback, or is that just their opinion? Break down 100% of energy. Do you think it's 20-80, 50-50, 100-0? Give me a.
I mean, I think it's probably Maybe 80% me not thinking I'm good enough then, and then 20% whether I take their opinion as valid, because it's more about me, less about them.
Yeah, so that's an interesting insight, because for me, it's like 98-2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm trying to think about, what does that mean? What is the delta between me when people give me feedback? It's 90. What's your biggest social media? Okay.
I think they're both the same. It's _made by Erica.
Oh, nice one. Okay. _made by Erica. Everybody who's watching right now.
Oh God.
Yep. Go on Twitter or go to Erica's latest Instagram post and _made by Erica. If you are the kind of person that sees a poster like that and thinks it's $100 poster, you know, that style, maybe a different one because that is a celebrity. Just let her know you're one of those people. _made by Erica on Twitter and Instagram. Let this amazingly talented young woman know that you're, and don't go there. Let's not be like a nice community and go there. If you're going to do that, just go and say, hey girl, keep going. But if you're the kind of person that would buy a poster like that, especially if signed by her, 1 to 100 for $100 or so, just let her know. Erica, I can tell you right now, if you're capable of making that poster, you're capable of making $100,000 a year minimum selling fucking posters you make.
Awesome.
And when I say minimum, you could make $1 million a year.
That thought is scary, but I guess in a good way.
Erica, that's a really good poster.
I know. I'm just so hard on myself. I mean, I really like it. I'm not going to say that I don't like it, but I just, to even like share that, it's like a big deal, I guess.
Yeah, because you're insecure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't want you to be. Which is why I'm trying to figure out why. And a lot of people have a ton of great parents who are loving and sweet, but they told them not to take risk because they came from tough situations, or they don't have the DNA of a risk taker.
Right. I think that's part of it.
Could be.
I think, definitely that's a good part, part of it. I mean, I went to school for graphic design and industrial design. So that was a little bit of a departure, but that was a way where I can combine my graphics, but still find a job.
I get it. The good news is the internet came along in our lifetime, Erica, and you can do that job and start building up Made by Erica and build a business, a real one.
Yeah.
Erica, I'm telling you right now, I want you to email me, Gary at VaynerMedia. I want to commission you to make some posters for me for my office.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not kidding. I'm a nice guy and I do things, but I take a lot of calls, and I wouldn't say this, like, I actually like that kind of style.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Like, Erica, no idea.
Listen to me, Erica. You have to take my very nice words right now and not hear them.
Okay.
And you have to take people that say you suck and not hear them. Once you can't hear is the day you start to live.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Like,
I'm telling you. Just please use this serendipity of the coronavirus leading to me having time to leading to this moment. Take that in. Take in this moment and use that in 3 days when the energy of this call is not here with you anymore. And you start feeling that insecurity because you're about to get 87 great comments, 120 great comments, and one person might say, you ain't that much shit. Wait till I talk to Gary Vee. He'll see I'm better. And if you decide to focus on that versus the 87 good, you're going to still be right back to the same place. You have to not hear the good comments. You have to not hear the bad comments. You have to live in a fucking cocoon like I do.
Tune it out, all of it.
You know why?
Why?
Because it doesn't matter.
True.
Did all those opinions of people on your relationships, your looks, your school, your work, your creativity, did all those opinions matter if yesterday you picked up corona and died in a week?
No.
Good.
Yeah, but you're right.
Whose opinion has value? Why?
No, I know. And I listen to you all the time. And I mean, like everybody, when is the point where it sinks in?
And the key is, I think what really works for me is I'm saying that to myself every second that I breathe, not occasionally or when I need it. And I'm trying to figure out what that means and how do I get that across.
Right.
You know, one of the other things I just realized, it just hit me. Do you know one of the reasons I don't hear anybody is I'm too compassionate and empathetic that for them, knowing that they have their own life experiences that led them to a positive or a negative comment. Almost every single person that leaves a negative comment to another human being, whether virtually or in real life, is deeply hurting inside.
Yeah, no, and I definitely hear that. Like, I definitely understand that there's more than just a comment, good or bad, you know.
And people are like, oh, Erica, they're just jealous of your skills. And I'm like, let's not even demonize these people that are trying to hurt us. Let's be compassionate to them.
Right.
Compassion is missing. When somebody says your poster's a piece of shit, I'm compassionate. I'm like, man, this fucking person stumbled on my Instagram account and decided to waste a minute trying to tear me down. They must be in such an awful place.
Right. No, that's true. Absolutely. I mean, I definitely see things that way. I guess it's just different when it comes to myself personally, you know?
That means you don't see it differently.
Well, true.
That means you understand the theory, but you're not living it.
Right. Ah, thank you. Thank you, Gary. Like, there's not enough thanks in the world for just everything you do and you give to everybody. And for this call, like, there's so much value. It's not even funny. Like, and I just really appreciate how the making the best out of a situation.
Correct.
So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Erica. Email me. Facebook, we are back. Thank you so much for waiting for the last hour. I was on Instagram Live for the last hour doing Tea with Gary Vee. Now we're back on Facebook. And Tim, thank you so much for icing the kicker, waiting it out. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we improvised. Tim, were you watching on Instagram, or you were just kind of waiting it out?
Yeah. I have like 2 phones and 2 computers here, so
you're the man. Go ahead. What can I answer for you, brother?
Well, a little bit of background here. So,
please.
So you usually ask when did you start listening? We're about the same vintage here. So I remember back when my daughter was first born, walking around listening to Dig Nation on podcast back in 2000.
Of course.
And like Wine Library. I used to watch that back then, 2006. But here's the crazy thing. So I'm going to be pretty vulnerable on this call because maybe it's less for me and maybe what other people can get out of this. I remember going back then going, I really want to start a podcast. And I'm like, it's too fucking late. What the man, seriously. So like same thing with Twitter. I've been on Twitter forever, barely do anything, you know. But now, so there's 2 ways to look at my current situation, right? Like it depends how you frame it. I'm going through a divorce right now, and you know my job. I was the chief operating officer. I was pretty high up in the company, and then that's all changed, right? So on the other flip side, it's a blank slate, and it's not really where I want to be anyway in terms of like. Corporate America or stuff like that, I'm like, I could give a shit about the title. I didn't really care, you know, but it's like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so we're in that weird border, right? Where we're not, you know, we're too old to be millennials or like have that kind of thing, but we're in, you know, my parents are great, but they were very much like, you know, this is the path you should choose and like, you know, go to school. So I have like multiple college degrees and all that stuff, but never felt right. So now I'm trying to figure out what do I want to do? So like, weird shit. I started baking sourdough bread when I moved into my apartment a few months ago. And actually last night I sold my first 2 loaves. And I don't even necessarily want to be a baker. What I'd rather do is be on Instagram talking about that, you know, or like using that as one of the things, not just being a baker, right? I'm curious about a lot of shit. I guess so. Yeah, and that's probably why I've always struggled. You know, I've been laid off 5 times. So
love that. But, I think that's good. I actually think that's good. I think that's an interesting data point. It means that you aren't capable of completely conforming.
That's damn sure. Good. Yeah, no, that's right.
That's my observation. So that I'm glad that you gave that confirmation. That's good. That's good. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, so that's just been my thing right now is like what, you know, like obviously.
Well, let's talk about it. Obviously, yeah, you just beat me to it. Going through a divorce without knowing how you saved or what your actual situation is, how much freedom financially do you have to be able to have the ability to completely be creative and try to figure this out? Or how quickly do you need to make a meaningful enough income to fulfill your obligations?
Yes. So like I spent, the last few months kind of burning through a lot of that. Right. And I didn't look, this is a process, man. Last year, if you had me on this, I was not this guy. And honestly, part of this, you want to call it therapy or whatever, is just getting on here because I don't like a lot of things about myself. And I've been working really hard. So just getting on here and like realizing that there's 4, 5, 10, whatever, how many thousands of people watching this is like, I'm sweating a little bit, but
Good for you.
I also
like
performing. Like I like being in front of people. It's
right,
a weird
which
thing.
is why I wanted. Yeah, look, understood.
So it's like this magician performer inside of me that wants to like get out, but then there's that other part that's like, no, you got to go sit at a desk job. I'm like, fuck that. No, I don't. So answering your question, it's interesting. Like I actually just picked up some consulting work that should be so I'll be able to have flexibility in my schedule, probably be able to float the bills for a little bit. And that's the goal. Right. So
do you want to build a personal brand around your truth, like the 7 to 9 things you like? Do you want to document the journey, like the post-divorce man, starring Tim, and it's just kind of like the documentation of you finding your thing, which I've always thought is a huge opportunity because there's nothing easier. Everyone's like, what do I make? And I'm like, the truth. You make the truth. You literally, some days it's just you in front of the camera like this. Other days you set up your whatever your video recording. It sounds like you're technically savvy enough with 2 computers and 2 iPhones. So like maybe so maybe the Tuesday blog and podcast is you just crying and saying why you're still not over the divorce, or you're crying out of happiness that you're ready to be happy and out of the divorce, whatever the truth is. And then Wednesday it might be the making of the sourdough, and then Thursday it might be you showing the picture of you selling 2 loaves and you saying, look, this isn't really like necessarily the business I want to build, but I like this, and you know what, I'm going to fly a kite tomorrow. So like I think the documentation of the process has the potential to make my biggest theory is if you document the journey of finding the thing, that when you find the thing, you now have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and for a very small group, millions of people that have been so invested in the journey that when you open up your bike shop, you fucking crush.
No, I'm not. And I think one of the things I've come to the conclusion of with me is I don't know that there's a thing or that thing.
There shouldn't be.
Like I can. Right. So it's just not my personality. That's why I can easily, and the sourdough, the only reason I'm selling is because people are like, this is fucking amazing bread. Why aren't you selling this? And I'm like, I don't know. I just sort of started doing this on the side. Is like,
but you got to make sure you got to make sure that it doesn't become the desk job, right?
Exactly. And when you run the
Tim, I apologize for interrupting. Or
no, it's good.
You love it for 9 months, and when it becomes a desk job, you go into selling kite kits. That's what I do.
Right.
I just do shit
I'm
until I don't want to.
I missed a lot of the documenting the journey so far. Yeah.
All you're doing now is saying you're too old to do a podcast, just like with Dignation. Fuck the part that you missed the documentation. You got 50 more years of documenting.
Yeah.
You can't dwell. You have to do. We can't dwell that you missed all the documentation.
No, yeah.
Episode 1 of the new documentation starting tomorrow is just a recap of everything we've all missed.
And I think part of me is just, so, why haven't I done this before? Right. And that's the core issue that I'm still trying to get to the bottom of, is like that fear of putting yourself out there, right? Like everybody on this call probably knows that, gets that. A lot of people, I mean, you get it, but you bust through it, like your path and my path in 2005 took 2 different things, and that's okay. I don't regret my path.
Here's the good news, brother. In 2005, and you and I took different paths. I got good news for you. Tomorrow is our paths take different paths in 2020.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we're young, bro.
Yeah.
We're young. We obviously, we got some gray hairs now that we didn't have those days. But brother, we're fucking young.
Yeah. I know. I feel like a
young
thoroughbred in the gates, ready to run.
Brother, do you know do you have any 62-year-old friends? I mean that. Do you have any 62-year-old friends?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go FaceTime them and go have dinner with them as soon as this is over. We're young.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what to tell you, dude. Do you remember 20 years ago how young you felt 20 years ago?
It's just this, I mean, like, it's funny because I feel like I'm talking to you and I don't realize that there's 10,000 people watching this, but like, then like me putting up an Instagram thing and being like, it's so fucked up, man. It's just, I guess you just got to do it and get numb to it. Right. But it's like, that's the protective thing I built up, you know?
Were you scared to kiss girls?
Yeah.
Me too. But then you eventually did it and then it became awesome.
Yeah. That's right.
Were you scared to ride a bike?
No, I don't think so. Not in that way.
I was like, I'm going to fucking skin my knee. Like I was so fucking scared of skinning my knee. And then I started riding a bike. What
about the first time you posted content?
That came different. That came easy. Just like for some people, but here's the good news. But for a lot of people, posting content is the scary thing, like I was with bike, but for them, they're like, he was scared to ride a bike. He was scared to kiss a girl. Like, that was easy for, but we got through it.
Yeah.
It's all fake.
Yeah.
It's all the boogeyman. It's why I said, fuck you, devil, on the Instagram live. And then I
punch you in the dick. I like
that. And you know what's funny? I know on the other end, there's like some 68-year-old grandma from Mexico's like, oh my God, no, not the Diablo. He's in trouble. He's going to die. And I'm like, no. It's fucking fake. So many things are fake. So many fucking things are fake. So many, the visions your parents had was fake. Life isn't about being ultra conservative. That's fake.
No, it hasn't really worked out for me either, right? Like I tried to do the right thing, the thing I should.
But good news. That's on you. That's what it.
Yeah,
exactly. As long as I could see it. As long as you don't put that on your parents. As long as you don't put that on society. Exactly. So now, good news. We're young.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right, brother.
Give me some good homework. What are you going to tell me to do here?
Make. Right. Honestly, I think listening to the Dig Nation thing, just kind of listening, I think it's proven in the data. One of the greatest things that ever came out of my mouth was document, don't create. And I think I think you should start documenting. I think tomorrow should be episode 1, comic book number 1, first album, where you literally talk like this and recap us completely. I was a boy that born in Denver. Like give us.
And just put it all like on
all the platforms, which I already can tell you know what to do. So yes. And then the next day you're like, all right, here it is. We're documenting the journey. Today's, day 21 of the coronavirus. I've been baking this bread like I told you about yesterday. I'm going to bake a fucking cookie, see what happens. So here we go. Putting up the phone, and then that's your 7-minute YouTube video. You making a fucking chocolate chip cookie. The documentation.
Funny, yeah. All right, man.
All right, brother.
Thanks,
Talk
bro.
to you.
I appreciate it.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Let's keep it going, Dustin. If you're watching right now on Facebook, please take a photo and post it on Twitter and say hi. I'd like to follow and retweet some of you. And that would be fun. My man, what's good, Ricky?
Oh, what's up, Gary?
What's up, man?
Kids, by the way, they want to say hi.
Hi, ladies. Hi. How are you guys? Hi, guys.
Ricky,
my man, Ricky.
Ariel.
Ariel, how are you, Ricky and Ariel? It's
say
good.
Hi. Okay, you want to say hi? All right. They know about you because I've been hearing you for years.
Thank you, Ricky.
Since you started Ask Gary V, and I've been just trying to say hi. I'm nervous right now.
No worries, man. I'm super flattered to be on with you, bro.
Quick, just backstory, man. I used to work for a school district. I was getting very, very complacent there, I guess. Just got, the system there. And my hobby was art. My passion is art, I should say, but business too. So once I came across your content, you gave me that permission, literally, man. That's the only way I can explain it. You know what I mean? Like,
Ricky, thank you so much, bro. I genuinely believe that I'm a permission practitioner. Like the reason I go after parents, the system, school, other things is because for hundreds of millions, that is the thing that's keeping them in the box. And I want to be the person they point to blame or the shield. Like I'm trying to give people the air cover, the permission to go. You don't even know how you saying that, how much that means to me.
Yeah, man, and that's my wife right there too.
I see it. I saw the mirror. Hi. How are you?
She also loves your content too. So, man, yeah, like I said, you gave me that permission somehow through your content, you know, and I hear everybody asking you questions. So, what was the question? So, I'm nervous, man.
Good news, Ricky. I'm not leaving. I'm not
Dude,
leaving.
I didn't even leave Zoom because I knew I was like, man, I was gonna be next, and I didn't leave it. And I even recorded you doing the sign. I'll send it to your team though. You're like, and by this, and by that, I was laughing, man. Like you're constantly innovating, and even in troubled times, even through technology, you're
in Ricky. And thank you for seeing it. I'm at my best when it's the worst. No sound, no problem, because I'm not scared. Ricky, because I'm not fucking scared.
Yeah. At that time, and you're good at improvising. That's why you're very good on stage. And I see a lot of your keynotes, man. I haven't met you personally. I haven't been to one of yours.
Soon. Where do you live?
All this craziness. I'm in Fontana, California. I mean, Rialto, California. Sorry.
Rialto, California. Okay.
So yeah. So to be short, man, I know a lot of people want to get in and whatever, but you gave me that permission to just don't regret, you know. So what I did is I quit the job. I literally quit a stable government job, you know, working for a school district. I started working with my brother. He has an event business called 909 Jumpers. And I worked with him and I helped him build it up more branding because I do a lot of graphic design. I'm an artist, you know, and we basically grinded dirt, you know, how you said, for 3 years, man. I just helped him. He's good at operations. I was good at marketing. We pushed it. Then I got to a point where I was able to open up my own tattoo studio. And this is the tattoo studio here, shameless plug.
I love it.
Iconic. And
I got Vayner Sports. I know.
Yeah. And so, you know, now at the point where everything is halted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Halted because I'm most event rental, business, and pretty much one-on-one person in business. Yeah. So, I mean, I understand what you're gonna say. You know, just build content right now. You know.
It's the real answer. Like, you know, for example. I think this is right. I'm sorry, I don't know tattoo culture well enough, but I'm not an idiot. You draw it out and then you tattoo it, right?
Yeah. I'm drawing right now as
you have to document that, bro.
Yeah.
You have to post a tattoo drawing every single day on every platform.
Okay. Yeah.
You also have to sell stuff Saturday.
Yeah, I'm looking at my house, what I can sell. I'm hearing
you have to do that. It's a nice thing to do. You'll clean up. We all need to have less shit and clutter anyway. You're going to also hone your marketing skills. Yeah. You're going to do something on Craigslist and eBay that then is going to matter for your tattoo business in September because you learned something about copy or creative that led to the sale of a bike or that Apple screen in the background or a book up there or whatever. That's a big deal.
Okay. I appreciate that. That's very...
What about LinkedIn? Have you started creating content there? Not yet, right? Okay.
I opened it up and then it's that first, you know, learning stage and I'm like, I'll get back to it. But you know what? I got a lot of time right now. I'm going to get back onto it.
Listen to me. I know what you're going to say, Gary. Make content, right? Is no different than a doctor saying, eat healthy and exercise. I know that everybody watching right now knows what I'm going to say. I'm fucking trying to get fuckers to do. Yeah. I'm hoping through one-on-one, this was our moment, and that makes you do. I'm hoping somebody else's name who's, you know, Sammy Gonzalez, who sees himself in you right now in El Paso, Texas, like, fuck it, I'm just like Ricky, I'm going to do. So that all of a sudden 2 people are going to do from this video, step by step by step by step by step by step. You understand?
Yeah.
Brother, listen to me. If you are not posting tattoo content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, LinkedIn, every day, multiple times a day, TikTok, then you're fucking up.
No, well, you know what I did? I did start a live class with my kids because, you know, I'm home and I'm like, well, some of my clients in the tattoo industry and my company are parents. And then in the event rental, they're parents as well. So I figured they're home. I like to draw, let's draw. And we did one session, when was it, Monday? We did one session, live class, you know, and we basically filmed it live on Instagram and we just started drawing a Mickey Mouse character, you know? And I figured the parents are gonna show it to their kids and you know, that brings me value to them. I can't connect to them one-on-one, but you know, that's what I can offer right now, you know?
I love it. Now, if you saw that free deck that I put out, how to make 64 pieces of content, or the Gary Vee content model, now that video, you need to put into post edit, learn how to do it, and make 12 pieces of content from it, not just one.
Got it.
Ricky, the game is volume.
Yeah.
Volume.
Yeah.
And when artists hear volume, they think quantity instead of quality, and it fucks them up.
Yeah. You're the man.
It is quantity.
For years, I've been following you. It means a lot. Made my day.
Thank you, brother. Take care.
You too,
Love
man.
to the family. Talk to you soon.
Right. Bye.
All right, guys. We're going to try to sneak a couple more in here before we bounce out. Let's see, Trevor Agnew, you get a retweet. Thank you for posting that photo. Trevor Agnew. Tom Draper's in the building.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Name?
How are you? My name's Malvika, Malvika.
Hi, Malvika.
Hi. Okay.
Where are you from?
So I'm from India, but I'm in Virginia right now in the US.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
okay.
nice.
I'm so excited that we could get this call. A lot of my family's watching from India. They're like super excited. They've been like
I love it.
hopping on, like live streaming this on the
I
TV.
love it. I love it.
So
Hello, everybody in India. Big shout out.
I also wanted to show you this picture that I made of yours a while back, and you retweeted it. So
that was you made. That was incredible. Thank you for that. I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're so talented. What can I help you with?
So right now I did my undergrad in the US, and I'm on a 1-year visa in the US that ends in September. And I plan to go back and help my aunt run her fashion business. She's an entrepreneur and she's done amazing work, like selling work through Facebook. And I'm really excited to do it. But then I also get a lot of advice where people tell me that like this is the time to like probably work for like a big company and get more exposure to like things like growth and things like that. But I feel in my gut that this is what I want to do. And I'm just so excited for it. And like the only model that I have to like do all of this is based on like what you're doing. So like I have that structure down, but like, and I believe in it, but like it's also like just, you know, I wanted your perspective on that. So.
Talk it through. I understand. Yeah. What are you actually asking at the end there, where you say, you know, I have your model in mind. Are you questioning if you can execute against it? Are you questioning what else you could be doing? What other angles? Like how does that manifest in your brain?
So I mean, I'm dedicated to doing this for like maybe the next 10 years of my life, but there's stuff like, you know, like, oh, will I have the money? Like I live with my family. Like I'm totally fine with doing that as well. Like it all works out for me in the end, but like my dad like invested all this money to bring me to the US. Like he paid for my education, and I do feel that pressure. But at the same time, I feel like this
is he concerned about you going into the business with your aunt?
He's very supportive of me, but he also worries that like, I don't know, he has a feeling about like a small business versus a large one, and he doesn't know how to grapple with that. And like I've been sending him your videos and I'm like, this is what he said. Like he said it's fine. So like I can do it.
I have a lot of empathy and a lot of compassion and a lot of respect for your dad. And I understand. I really do. I think the thing that I keep trying to tell children, especially from India and China and Russia, because there's so many similarities with, you know, different cultures, is your father loves you. And so what he's worried about is he in his soul thinks that the big business is safer and he wants to protect you. And he also probably thinks like, we've also made this investment in your education. So like, it seems practical and right to him. Unfortunately, for you and so many people in India, in Asia, in parts of Europe, unfortunately, so many of those people don't want to be engineers or doctors or lawyers. And it leads to incredible unhappiness. And I remind parents to look at other parents who have, you know, who are older, 20, 30 years ahead. And I go, look at them. That's your family. And that 43-year-old woman resents her parents, and they don't have a good relationship. And it's not good. And so here's what I would tell you. A couple things. Number one, this is why youth is so incredible. You can go work for your aunt, spend 8 years on it, and at the end of the day, God forbid, it's a quote unquote failure, right? It's not a failure, because you're going to learn so much more in a small entrepreneurial business than you'll ever learn in a big corporation. So much more. Number two, it's not a failure because you're going to be uncomfortably young, young. And you will have your degree and you'll have your own street smarts and your conviction, and you can always get a job at a big company. Big companies are always interested in hiring because they make profit by having more people if they know how to run their business. So I think it's more, I would argue if I and your dad became friendly and we were having tea, which Russians and Indians love to have, and we were talking, I would say to him, Father, interestingly enough, I would argue that it's more practical for her to go into the startup with the aunt than it is for her to go into a big company. That big companies are in full control, and that can lead to her getting let go during the coronavirus versus navigating. Plus, let's look at her face. She clearly has the passion and conviction to give it a try. I actually think that, I believe in that. I believe in that truth.
Yeah, he's listening right now, so he can hear everything you say. Good. That's amazing.
And Father, for you can't imagine how much respect, I'm the byproduct of immigrant parents, hardworking parents, loving parents. I have so much empathy and compassion for parents. A lot of times I say, fuck what your mom thinks. It's not because I don't have compassion for the mother. It's because I'm trying to give freedom for the child so that the mother and the child, the father and the child can have a great relationship long term. I watch so many parents do to their children what their parents did to them, and they should know better because they know they didn't like it when their parents did it. And money is not happiness. Happiness is happiness. And we do not need things. We do not need a lot of things. Small homes and food is more than enough. And so always chase happiness, especially in the youth, because it's practical to get a job at 28, 29, because many corporations, the way the world's going, are going to actually look at people that did entrepreneurship and SMB for their corporation. Not a company that your father would want you to go into now in 9 years, if it fails, is more likely to hire you, not because you went to a competitor for 9 years on your resume, but because you were entrepreneurial, because the internet is forcing entrepreneurship to be a more important variable within corporations.
That's awesome. I want to squeeze in one more thing before I have to leave.
Please.
So 4 days before the internship deadline for your internship, I thought about the one thing I'd want to do before I leave the US, and there's nothing more amazing to me than working for you. So I just want to tell you about what I did to make that happen. So I booked tickets to Unify Las Vegas, which was supposed to happen today coincidentally, but it's also really weird that I'm speaking to you right now. Wow. The second thing I did was create a 64 pieces of content in 4 days challenge for myself before the deadline. And I knocked it out. I finished it. I made a sick video about it and shared it all over my Instagram. And I emailed D-Rock. I annoyed Brandon and Jason and all of them on their DMs. They were really kind enough to reply to me. D-Rock replied to my email. It was all going amazing. And the main point that I'm trying to tell you from that was that the process itself was so amazing to me. I got so addicted to that I started my own weekly playlist on my other account because I loved it so much. And the second thing is I just know how much your employees mean to you, and it makes complete sense to me. So if it doesn't work out, it's fine. But I just want to tell you that I have good work, and if I could possibly work for free at any point, in 10 weeks once this goes down.
Send me an email right now. Send me an email and let me look at it. It's Gary at VaynerMedia.
I'll do that. Yeah, thank you.
I'm
so
really
much.
proud of you. You are an incredible young woman. I'm a big buyer of you.
You changed my life. You're changing my life right now. Thank you so much.
You're welcome so
Bye.
much. I couldn't think of a better way to end Tea with Gary Vee on this beautiful Friday. I'm debating going on tomorrow.
The team actually was asking if you could fit this one person in. I think you're going to really like this person, but I don't know. It's up to you, of course.
Hey, Dustin, we're going to have to do this person on tomorrow because I have to do something with my kids, and that's just the way it is. So I love everybody. Tea with Gary Vee. I hope you enjoyed it. It was an interesting day. Facebook Live, then Instagram, Facebook. Dustin, thank you for persevering. Thank you for everybody. I love you guys so much. Couple things. One, please share this. I want more people. Tomorrow, we'll update you guys later tonight. What time tomorrow? If tomorrow. What time tomorrow? If tomorrow. Tomorrow might be wine with Gary Vaynerchuk. We'll figure it out. But definitely back Monday morning. And very likely I'll see you over the weekend. I love you guys all so much. Please go flash all all 10,000 of you watching right now, flash to Twitter right now, Gary BE, and tell me what you thought about today's episode. And I love you guys so much. See you. Oh, and hook up my pops, winetext.com. If you drink wine and you buy it on the internet or at a bullshit supermarket and you're overpaying for it, go to winetext.com and sign up for my dad's service. It means a lot to me, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying that as well. So see you later. Bye-bye.